I'm Zach from Sugar and Swag, and today I'm going to give you a tutorial how to change your T-Slim pump site. Let's get into it. So I'm going to show you how I do a pump change. First, I'm going to take my pump and turn off the insulin. So while it's out of my body, it can't give me any insulin. So I take this part out of my body so it's not connected. And I take the site off of my body as well. I'm going to get this cartridge. Now we have to get the insulin pen and take it out, but we have to use this. It's an injection pen, so the needle comes in a little separate package, and this will not be entering the body, but we're going to use this to get the insulin out of the insulin pen. So this is what it should look like. And all you have to do is stick it in the center where you would put the needle if you do an insulin injection, and you just put it in there. So you want it to go right below the 1. See the line right below the 1? We want the insulin to go right about there. And there may be some bubbles, but you need to flick the insulin pen just so it gets the bubbles out. So after that, you get your cartridge and you have to stick it in the center and you have to pull. You're pulling because there's air right now in the cartridge. So if the pump would give me insulin, it could actually be giving me air, which could be dangerous. So we pull out until you feel a force. And then when you feel that force, you just pull back down. But there will now be a giant bubble, so you just flick once again. And to make sure it's working, you try to spray it a little. But this is very sensitive, so you have to do a very tiny force, but as you saw, it sprayed everywhere. So now you put this in the center of the cartridge, and now you want all the insulin to enter the cartridge. So you push down so all the insulin will enter the cartridge. And now, probably my favorite part about doing this is, for example, right now, let's say I have to use the insulin pen for something. So let's say I have 13 units. And if I would do it, it wouldn't come out because this needs to push to get the insulin, because right in between here is air. So what you need to do is go all the way to the maximum and then push. Once that black dial gets to the pink, then you're good. And if there's no needle, it won't push any further. Now, I'm going to take the cartridge, the old one, out of the pump. So what you need to do is, I have to take this case off for a second. You need to see this little spot right there. There's a little teeny tiny gap. And you take your key and you fit a corner down there and you push up. Push as hard as you can and it'll go up. Then you can take it out. So there's also another way to do it. If you have the T1 secure case, and for example, you forgot your key somewhere, you can use the case to take this out. You have to use a corner of the case and you just use it the same way as the key and it'll come out. So with the old cartridge out, you just put that to the side as well as your key, and you put in the new cartridge. Now we need to do some things on the pump. So what we need to do is enter the pump. It's going to ask you if you want to resume the insulin. Since it's not in our bodies yet, we can't do that. So after you press no, the options is going to be really big, and there's going to be no bolus, and you press the options and you go to load. Once you press load, you want to press change cartridge. So you press the change cartridge and it'll say, make sure the infusion set is disconnected from your body. And then it says, are you sure to continue? So you press the check mark, and it's just giving me a reminder to resume the insulin, but we're not ready yet. So we're just gonna press OK. It's gonna say preparing for cartridge. And then once you got this step in, it's going to lock you on the screen. But when you're ready, you press the little lock up here, and it'll ask, is the cartridge installed? And you say, and you do the check mark. And it'll say detecting cartridge. If it says, I don't see any cartridge in here, you just take the cartridge out with the key and you insert it back in the pump. So right now this is loading. It'll take a little while for it to fully load, but after it loads, okay, it loaded. And it says cartridge changed. So it says, it's just saying that it's making sure it's not in your body yet, because it says on the next screen you will find your tube. You will fill your tubing with insulin. So you say okay, and it's going to bring you to this screen. So this part is very important. You want a brand new little wire. We use the AutoSoft wire. So we take this out of here. And it's very, very important to take this case off the top. So you hold on to the sides of this, and then you just pull it off, and it comes off easily. So now, you attach this bottom part to this. These go together. And then you just tighten it on, and they're all together now. I'm going to start the tubing. So now it's doing insulin, so we can test if it can go through the wire or not. Paper towel, or maybe just paper, for the insulin to go on. So it's not going to let you stop the insulin unless it gets to 10 units. Usually it would be over 10 units. And as you see right now, insulin just dropped on, so you would press stop. So it's going to say, if you see the drops at the end of the tubing, press done. If no insulin drops are noticed, press fill to continue filling. And it's going to tell you how much insulin came out. And if you've seen a drop of insulin, you press done. If you haven't, you press fill. So we're going to press done. And we press the check mark at the very top, and it says test blood sugar in 1 to 2 hours. Now it's going to ask you to resume, but now we need to put the site in my body. We're going to be right back.
So to remove the actual site change is going to come, this is called the AutoSoft, so you just literally take off the red tape. You take off the cover. You do not want to press this button right here, because this is going to be the thing that actually injects the thread-like needle into the site. So just be careful not to press this. But there are grips on both sides. There's grips right here. So hold those, and you're just going to remove this bottom part right here. So I'm just going to literally, squeeze it, and it comes out. You'll see this is what it looks like. We need to make sure this part comes off. So on the inside, you see this little almost trigger looking thing. So you still hold it on the sides, and then you're going to pull this trigger out. Usually comes right off. And there you go. So now it's no longer there. These have little feet on them. So these feet are going to be placed directly against his skin. And when I have it in place, I'm going to hold these, and then I'm going to push down on this, and it's going to inject him. Placing the feet directly against the skin. and I'm gonna hold it and we count 3, 2, 1, right? And on 1 I'm gonna do it.
Right. I just like to do 3, 2, 1 just so I'm ready for the injection.
Ready?
Yes.
On camera. 3, 2, 1. Were you being brave? Is that why you didn't make a noise?
Yes.
The needle's out. It looks scarier than it is. Well, I can imagine actually that going inside me, but that's what puts the sensor on him.
So you're going to pull the needle out once it's in, and once it's in your body, it's gonna look really weird, but you just have to take these tapes off, and then you have to smooth it onto the body. Take both tapes off. So once it's in you like this, you get the wire for your pump and you attach it right in here. And it'll click right in. Once this is done, you can press the resume insulin button on your pump and you are good to go. Thanks everyone for watching. Check us out on Instagram or YouTube for more videos. I'm Zach and this is how you do a Tandem T-Slim pump change tutorial.